Aloha tribe. Welcome to Medicine of the Womb. I am so stoked to be here today with Gaea Lady. She has been an influence, a dance influence and inspiration in my life for years, since the first time I saw her dancing in Costa Rica, fire flames swirling around her. Fans moving, body undulating. I was like, who is this woman? And how do I bring this magic and her essence into my life? And I feel so blessed that we've gotten to weave over the past few years through the temples of the feminine and the womb. And here we are today to really go deeper into what does it mean to be a temple dancer and what is pussy magic and all the extraordinary offerings and flavor that this woman brings to pussy activism. I don't know, I just came through with that right now, but that's just really what I feel when I
I
see
love
and
that.
when I hear your voice and your
Mm.
message, and we're just here to amplify that. So, Gaea Lady, thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gia. I'm a she, lady, pronouns, and I am a pussy magic priestess. I am a temple dancer. I love to express myself in all the different ways, as Sabrina has really just nailed spot on. Um, I'm so grateful to be here and really excited to share the medicine that I have gathered through my life's journey with you. And I'm also excited throughout this awesome, I don't know, medicine of the womb. It's not quite a summit, it's not quite a gathering, but it's this like big holding and offering of knowledge. And I'm so excited to be here and to learn. And I hope that you are too. So thank you so much for calling us all in, Sabrina. This is so exciting.
Oh, yeah. It is this gathering of knowledge, and it's also this call for this deep call for community. And for we
Mhm.
have this incredible sacred technology and this ability to gather and meet others from all over the world. And I know that if I was somebody watching, I'd be so excited to just come into contact with your sacred offerings, your teachings, what you stand for, what you share. And so I just want to open this up with please let us know, what is pussy magic?
Pussy magic is the femme energy that lies within all of us. It is the magic that lies between our thighs, centered in our sacral chakra, your hip girdle. It's your intuition, it's your capacity to feel and your capacity to create. It's the mystery that you can't understand, but you can feel innately. And it's balanced, like it exists within balance of the masculine, right? And we can call these energetic fields anything we desire, right? It doesn't have to be feminine and masculine. It's not gender based. It could be yin and yang, or Shiva and Shakti, or lunar and solar, right? There's so many different ways to look at how these energies interplay. And so pussy magic is the receptive, the mysterious, the intuitive, and frankly, in this world, right, as we look at womb healing and really uplifting the feminine and this capacity to create in this mystery, it is really needed to lift this and bring this so deeply into focus, because the world and civilization and humanity has been so centered towards the paternal, towards the masculine for so long, for this like directive, logical, focused, like kind of structural, achieving. So in order to balance that out, right, this is the focusing into our pussy magic and our womb mysteries, and the healing is so important for everyone, no matter how you identify in your gender. And that is done through really like opening up outside of how you know how to receive information, and starting to listen deeply to the silence and giving that value.
Oh, I feel that. And pussy magic, and if you channel that through dance, for example, or living artfully, as I know that you do, what I'm feeling called to just reiterate is that this is an embodiment practice and an embodiment ritual. And really, medicine of the womb is bringing to light mystic secrets and rituals and embodiment practices for feminine health and vitality and pleasure, right? And
Mhm.
dance is the embodiment of the soul, right? And so,
Mhm.
as pussy magic is your embodiment, right? How can someone, perhaps me, perhaps someone watching, tap into their pussy magic? How can you feel your magic in
Mm,
dance?
mm, mm. That's a great question. So I do this, and I'm stepping back because, right, it comes into this dance, and I offer my vessel as the channel for you to be inspired by. I don't want you to look like me. I don't want you to move like me. I want you to move like you and to feel it. And that's where this pussy magic comes through. The more that I try to word pussy magic, the more that we try to word the feminine, we try to like nail it down and kind of like put it into a box, the more that it escapes our actual knowing and our actual understanding. And so the deep feeling is counterintuitive in this way that we've been taught within a patriarchal society,
Mm-hmm.
um, within this logical and like mental intelligence, right? We come back into the body's intelligence. So I invite you, wherever you are, to feel into your body, whether you're sitting in a chair, whether you're standing, you're listening to this while even driving or walking,
Mm-hmm.
right? To think about sitting back into the spine, almost like you're leaning back into the arms of the beloved, or like Mother Earth, or
Mm-hmm.
your chair, or something that supports you. And to put your energy down through your feet, and at the same time up through your head. And as you sit back, to also have a gentle softness through your heart, through your belly, through your womb, through your forehead. And then here, let's take 3 breaths together. If you want to move intuitively in any way, I invite that. If you close your eyes, sometimes that helps you to really get into this feel. So just invite you to expand, to feel grounded. Take a breath, 1. Oh, exhale it out. Notice how you feel without labeling how you feel. Inhale 2. Be in your body. Inhale 3. And in this place, allow yourself to to wiggle or move and kind of unlock anything that's stuck, maybe your shoulders or your hips, right? Or your body, right? Pussy magic is this capacity for us to listen and create and move intuitively, seemingly without a reason or or a purpose, right? That the purpose is deeper, and it comes into the deep pleasure and sensuality and erotic vitality of living life. And so pussy magic is different for everyone, but it is this capacity to feel, which is a devotion and a practice. So if that was new or an edge or challenging for you, dear listener, I invite you to stay devoted to that and to try that once a day and see how it unfolds.
So that just intuitive movement of not having to follow anyone. There's no choreography here. It is
Mm-hmm.
really tapping into your womb, really getting into that deep intuitive space of this is my body. How does my body want to move? What is she asking for? What is she calling for? And that is something that we all have to check in with ourselves ritualistically on a daily basis. Just
Mm-hmm.
even when we're feeling those hits from our body, like, oh, maybe I should or shouldn't do that, or why am I getting that hit right now of like something is happening, right? It's because our womb, our body, she's trying to talk to us, she's trying to connect with us. And when we tap into a movement practice, then we get to have that space to connect and have that space to explore. And what I'm feeling of asking you right now is like, I'm feeling into dance as prayer, dance as ritual, dance as movement medicine, right? And how does that support you in living an authentic life?
Mm. Oh, yes. I've been I've been thinking of this so much recently. Ever since I was little, I knew I knew dance was my medicine, and I didn't know what that looked like.
Mm,
Growing up in the suburbs of Ohio, I just wanted to go to dance class, but also I just wanted to dance around in my backyard with the trees and feel my feet in the ground and just like express and move like a swan or a squirrel or whatever
mm,
my imagination would like bring through. And as as I've deepened into this practice, right now I'm a professional burlesque and fire dancer,
mm,
and my my dance and my performances are an offering of prayer. It is a ritual to bring people into their bodies through witnessing mine, and that is an ancient ritual and an ancient practice, right?
mm,
We, if you go back to it, even before we have logos and reasoning and language, we have the expressions with our body. And when we get into this rewilded primal place of moving our bodies and authentically expressing in a ritual,
mm,
we can communicate on deeper currents than language can ever communicate. um, and that is this performance. It's opening up our capacity to commune with the divine, to dissolve the self, the ego, the need to be recognized or appreciated or seen. The performance is offering oneself fully, no matter how you are received,
mm,
in service of the divine and the divine awakening of whomever is your witness in
mm.
this ritual, even if it's your cat.
Fur babies matter, you know? So what I'm
Mhm.
feeling called to share right now, just in this sacred, intimate space is, you know, as I'm watching you, your body is so fluid. You're so just in tune with your serpentine sorceress self. And,
Mm.
you know, I myself, I wore a back brace for, you know, the better part of my adolescence because I have
Mm.
scoliosis. And I was never really able to move, actually. I had to be in this like brace while my spine was
Mm.
growing because of, you know, of this curvature in my spine. And so when I was finally able to release myself from that prison, I didn't feel like I could dance. I didn't feel like I could move. And I was just embarrassed and ashamed of like my body in general after so many years of being confined. And, you know, I had my own personal awakening through, you know, going into dance festivals and festival. Burning Man was like one of my first awakenings when I was in my early 20s, that I could move and be and do however I
Mm.
want. And I was accepted by rave culture and, you know, allowed to just be my like weird dancing self until I found my flow. And do you have any any thoughts, any advice, any shares for those of us that don't necessarily feel comfortable in our bodies yet, for those of us that are embarrassed to get out on the dance floor and just let loose? Like, what are your thoughts on that? What do you have to share with us about that?
Before I share on that, I also want to just mirror you. I found my own authentic expression and my capacity to dance for myself,
Mm-hmm.
again as an adult, on the dance floors of rave culture. It it was awakening, and I went, and sometimes substances help to get you out of your mind and into your body, but eventually, like those ladders. into letting go aren't needed anymore, and you can get into that comfort. So if you are tuning into this and you're feeling that blockage of, you know, not being a dancer, you don't have to train in dance to be a dancer. If you have a body, you are a dancer, right? And it doesn't matter how good you do it. I encourage you to look at this as a devotion to your own mental health, actually, because the health of your body reflects the health of your mind, and the health of your mind reflects the health of your body. And so if we don't move if we don't move the energies through our flesh, our form, our sinew, our blood bag, muscle tissue, then it gets stuck, right? Like we are these weird meat sacks, these flesh bags. We're not just floating heads, as a lot of academia likes us to say. Like there's no disconnection between them, no matter what we like to say. So if you have a body, it is so important, no matter your mobility levels or whatever it is, but to move however you can, even if that's dancing with your fingers, right? Or dancing with your eyeballs or your neck, right? Or if your spine is locked up, finding whatever mobility you have in it and starting to explore how your form can move through what's being held inside of it. There's an amazing human called Dr. Candace Pert who talks about your body being your subconscious mind, and the hormone peptides and the different like actual chemical pieces that give us our emotions and give us our like subconscious thoughts and feelings are actually created in the body itself. They don't originate in the mind and then go to the body. They actually originate in the body, and then the mind reacts to them. And so when we allow for those like flushes of heat or shame or anger or sadness or joy or ecstasy to be expressed through our body, even in a little motion, we start to unlock our own pure potential that really comes from like the seat of our pelvis and our womb and our capacity to create up and out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just
as the feminine, that is our lighthouse. Our lighthouse is our womb. You know, that is where our sensuality and our creativity and our primal life force is coming from, our ability to birth all kinds of life. And I just really appreciate you sharing. You don't have to be a trained dancer to be a dancer. Whatever expression is coming out of you is your own unique expression that nobody else has and nobody ever will. And we see you on the dance floor. We find each other.
and you
We
don't
find
have
each
to
other
be
through the realm.
right. You don't have to be good. It's literally about your heart. Like if you have your heart open and all you're doing is this for 3 hours,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like that's your dance, and that's
Heart chakra
perfect.
blast open.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if all you can do is like stomp your feet and move your hips,
Mhm.
you know, for that
Yeah.
moment, like that's what you need to do, and trusting that,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So I'm so
like
excited for you to let this be the lead in. Because I could talk to you all day, but let this be the lead in for the dance ritual or movement practice that you're going to share with us, this activation. I'm so excited for us all to be a part of it because I have been with Gaea Lady in Costa Rica, and my body has moved in her classes in ways that I never even thought was possible. So it's just always that continuous opening of reaching for our ability to surrender and let go and be guided by our spirit. So that is my invitation for you as I turn the mic over to Gaea Lady. And
let's move.
it's all
How
you.
long do we have? What do you want? Like, what do you think? Like 10 minutes?
We have 15 minutes. Well, let's do like 13 minutes so that you can also share, where we can find you and all that good stuff.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Well, let's start a little timer because otherwise we can go for 3 hours. So I invite you to find a place where you feel comfortable to move and explore your body. If that's in a chair, if that's standing up, whatever feels good to you. Like, and no matter what space you have available to you, I invite you to inhabit that space, even if it's the bathroom or the kitchen. I have this beautiful dance studio, which I'm so blessed to have, and you're invited to come anytime. So as we start, today we'll move in silence to the rhythms of our own womb's pullings. So open your toes up and kind of spread them apart and then press them down onto the ground. Soften your knees and rock back and forth by moving your hips, which are the weightiest part of our body, the strongest place to hold, to create from. And just feel how the weight of your body goes back and forth. And maybe even start to test the waters of your balance, and maybe even see when your arms need to start to get in order to rebalance. Our bodies calibrate themselves if we let them. Take a deep breath in and then loosen your neck and start to get your neck into this sway. I'll turn, you can stay, right? And just start to move and see if your spine and your neck can gently undulate. Just let any rigidity go as you rock back and forth, letting your hips be the fulcrum, right? Pushing it back and forward, whatever way that feels good to you. Knees are soft. Maybe you find yourself pushing that balance a little farther. That's great, right? And here we're moving from our womb space. We're moving from our hip center, our pussy magic. And then now start to take a little bit of length up into the top of the head, and maybe move the energy down from the head, down into the hips, and then up from the hips into the head. So we get a little more length between the vertebrae, right? We're starting to expand and wave. Take these waves now side to side. Okay, so start to think about a lateral wave through the sides of the body, through the rib cage, through the side of the hip, down through the outside of the knee and the ankle. And if it feels good too, you can raise an arm up and feel all the way down the pinky side through your ulnar nerve, all the way down into the side body, into the ribs. And whatever this feels good, right? Don't worry about doing it right. Maybe just keep both arms up or put both arms down. And if it helps you at this moment to close your eyes and tune into what it feels like, rather than worrying if you're doing it right or wrong, just find this sway side to side and the activation of your side body. If your eyes are closed, keep them closed, and then start to find any kind of a circular or a spiral, right? You can choose which direction you want, but use your hips as the fulcrum of the movement again. You can come up on toes and heels here, and then find this spiral energy, right? We are always moving in one of the 4 sacred movement patterns: circle, spiral, wave, or infinity. And so here, think about how your hips can spiral down into the earth, grounding you. And then you can move that energy up through your ankles and your knees, the outer thighs, the inner thighs, through the womb space, through the ovaries, fallopian tubes, up through the diaphragm and the breath into the lungs, into the heart, into the back body. Peeling the shoulder blades off and thinking about the arms as wings, almost wings that are like seaweed waving in an ocean supported by the water. Maybe even into your finger joints, right? And wherever you are, notice how your body wants to move. Take a moment and come to stillness in the center. Drop your shoulders and think about pulling your muscles and your bones into the center. Maybe your hands come together. Maybe your elbows hug into your ears, your legs squeeze and hug. Take a deep breath in, feeling this center channel alignment, and then opening up really slowly into a spiral in the opposite direction. As humans, we have currents, right? Either clockwise or counterclockwise, that feel more or less innate in our body. And so here, I invite you to refrain from any kind of judgment about what feels better or worse. And seeing where this spiral in the other direction can be softened into rather than pushed through. How can you release and soften and allow your body to move in whatever capacity it wants to today, which is going to be different than when you were 16, than when you will be 72, than yesterday or tomorrow. Right now, how does this spiral feel? And let's move the energy up from the stars, from the universe, and then let that energy spiral down through the crown, through the throat, through the heart, through the vital organs in our soft belly. Maybe take a moment to have an extra spiral through our womb, our pussy magic space. Maybe down and out into the bottom of the booty, this seat of the pelvic girdle. And then slowly let that energy swirl down into the earth. Let's come back to this center space. And if it feels right to you, you can place your feet together and then hug your hands to the side this time and feel this central core channel, imagining everything hugging to the spinal column, lifting up, pressing down. Inhale and exhale out. If you desire to make a noise, I highly encourage it. Inhale, squeeze deeper. Exhale, release that squeeze and make a noise. Shake your hands, shake maybe your feet, and then let's bring that shake into our womb space and our hips. And I invite you to take your hands into this space. And maybe you want to shake it in a circle. Maybe you want to bobble your knees back and forth to shake it side to side. Or maybe you want to pop your pelvis back or front, the pubic bone, in order to shake it, in any way. And maybe try a couple of these, When we shake, this helps us to dislodge anything that's stuck. Maybe we don't even know it's stuck. Just let yourself shake it. Create some space, some vibration here, bringing this energy in. If it comes up into your shoulders or your nose, your heart. And then let's move this into a slow figure 8 with the hips. And I invite you, even if you're in a chair, to move your hips. I like to have my feet wide sometimes, which is right now. And so draw an infinity sign that's parallel to the floor with your hips. If you want, you could take your hands into a mudra. Okay, that is an Indian word for a hand gesture that is communicative, that is its own language. And so here I have my hands in the womb mudra, or the downward triangle, the chalice, the cup, right over top of the womb space. Okay, you can overlap the fingers, you can overlap the hands, however it feels right to you. And then reverse, reverse that figure 8. This infinite sign with a crossover of the womb is a very potent and powerful weaving, This also physically opens up the hips. It opens up the attachments of the femur, of the leg bones, into the hips, which is also connected to the spine, all the way up into the neck, into the brain. They also say your tailbone is your back brain. It is your animal brain. And so by opening up around your tailbone, you allow for your instincts to become more noticeable, to tell you more. Let's move this here into a circle, into a big hip circle. Take a deep breath in. All right, that's been the 10 minutes. Let's finish these circles here. Big circles around. And if you want to get deeper into your hips, bend your knees down and see how that feels. Toes can be out, toes can be forward, or knees can be even slightly in. Then here I encourage you to tone the belly in and up to protect the lower back. We like to dump all of our energy forward out of our womb. And by using your strong core muscles to zip in and up and curl forward, we allow for our energy to recirculate within, right? This ritual of curling and recirculating our creative juices within this magical space of creation. Take a deep breath, pause for a second, maybe strike a pose. Then we go the other way. Take a deep breath. Make sure you're breathing so deep into that belly that you feel like your pelvic floor expands and contracts with your diaphragm underneath your rib cage here. Your diaphragm's here. It lowers to let air in. And then your pelvic floor does the same. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm moves up, and so does the pelvic floor. So think about that as you allow your breath rhythm to move. Okay, see if you can deepen the bend in those knees. That really helps you to get into a different place in the knees and the hips. Maybe putting more weight over the heels and the toes, maybe supporting yourself on a chair or your own legs. Okay, one more big one. Inhale, pause. Find some kind of pose that feels really good. Exhale, and come back to center. Place your hands on your hips, on your womb space, anywhere that feels right to you right now. And maybe even one on the heart. And we'll take 3 breaths to witness how our body feels. Take a deep breath. 1. Exhale. 2. 3. Hold your breath at the bottom. Feel the void, the mystery. And as you inhale, bring in all that vitality and life with the air. You are pussy magic. You are your own womb healer, and your body is the key. Thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful activation. Wow.
Yum.
Oh, just the perfect amount of yum.
Right? And that's like a 10-minute juice up that you can do at any point. When I would work in an office, I would go to the bathroom and do that.
Believe it. I believe it. But now you are free, a free woman. And please, please let us know, where can we find you? How can we connect with you and your delicious dance?
My name is Gaea, and it's spelled on the bottom, but Gaea Lady. And I have a free gift for you that gives you a little bit longer of a class, a meditation, and then also a little taster of one of my fire performances. So you can find me through my website. I offer fire dancing retreats and personal trainings, and my 7-month Pussy Magic program, which is a transformation through burlesque, where you learn to do burlesque and go into the theory of it all. That starts again October 2023. So in the meantime, I'm teaching monthly full moon and new moon activations, warm-ups, and burlesque and silk and fire classes on my Patreon, which is a portal where I get to share these kind of experiences with you. They have juicy replays and some community connections. And if you're ever in Chicago, you can come over and dance with me. So that is where to find me. Also, on the Instagrams and the Facebooks, and you can just, send me love and videos of you dancing. That's great.
Well, if anybody is ready for a Chicago road trip, just hit me up. We'll come through. We'll come through to the burlesque parlor and hang out and see. I know I remember the first time that I saw you get naked burlesque dancing. That was in California, actually. I was like,
Right.
"Oh, I saw that." So I know that Gaea Lady and I both hold retreats in Costa Rica. I know you have a fire dancing retreat in Costa Rica. I have my sacred
Mhm.
womb retreat. I'm sure that I'll see you at some point in the next months traversing around. But for all of you that feel inspired, you know exactly where to find Gia, and it's all going to be in the show notes too. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, your wisdom, your energy, your womb medicine. And we'll see you in the womb. I hope.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. And thanks, everyone.